And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm today on a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today we're going to take a look at another easy gold trick in Guild Wars 2, and it's going to be Black Lion key farming. Now, this is a method that's been very popular in the past. In fact, it's been even more popular when there wasn't a weekly limit. I feel like the weekly limit was needed though, and it sort of gives us a break a little bit, because I feel like whenever there's an opportunity open for people to farm something, they're gonna do it. So Black Lion key farming used to be a lot more profitable, and you could get multiple keys, and I felt like a lot of people were pushing to get multiple keys, and it just doesn't make the game fun. You're sort of doing the same thing over and over and over. It makes it very boring. Some people get very irritated and annoyed with it, especially if you don't really get the rewards that you were hoping for, and you may see it as a waste of time. But at least now with the weekly limit, it's sort of like, okay, well, let me set aside 30 minutes, 45 minutes for one day. Let me do key farming, and then I can forget about it for the entire week and wait till the next week. It isn't that much of a burden, or it isn't that much of a lost opportunity if you're not doing it constantly. At least you're taking the opportunity to do it once a week, and then that's it, and then do it next week again. So if you've never heard of key farming, what it basically is completing your first set of missions in your personal story. You have to be level 10 to complete these missions in your personal story, and when you've completed the 4 missions or so, I think it's like 3 to 5 missions, the human story is the shortest one, but we'll go over that in just a second. But when you finish your level 10 personal story quests, you get a Black Lion key, and then you can use that Black Lion key to open a Black Lion chest. And why would you want to open a Black Lion chest? Because you can get Black Lion tickets, which are worth over 100 gold. You can also get Black Lion ticket scraps, and if you get 10 of those scraps, you can turn it into a ticket. And sometimes you can even just get contracts from these chests, which sell for thousands of gold. And sometimes you'll even get weapon skins which sell for anywhere between 80 to 150 gold. So it can be very valuable. It can be very profitable to do this at least once a week, and get your weekly key farm in. In the past, you used to be able to do this many times, like I said, but now the reset is every Monday. It's early morning Monday, Eastern time. For different time zones, it may be in the afternoon, or maybe even the day before. But Eastern time, it's early morning, like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something like that. So if you do your key farming on Tuesday, then you can do just every Tuesday. That's fine too. You could do it every Sunday before reset. So be aware that there is a weekly reset on Monday, and it's Monday morning Eastern time. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is that you can also get rare dies from this, and those sell for a good amount of gold too. Sometimes you can get like a 20 gold, 50 gold die from it, and you're making a lot of profit off of that just for maybe a 30-minute run or a 45-minute run to get to level 10 and do your personal story. Now, the question is, how can you get this done the quickest? And a lot of people have looked into how to quickly get through the personal story, or how to quickly get to level 10, and I'm sort of going to be breaking that down to you, your options and how you should do it, how I've been doing it. But essentially, the first step is to create a character. You want to create a human character because it has the quickest storyline, and we're also going to be using some consumables that will help us kill the enemies that we're encountering a lot quicker as well. When you're creating your human character, you can skip through everything. Really, it doesn't really matter. But what you want to pay attention for is when you pick what type of class you are. You want to pick you're a commoner. If you pick you're a commoner, it will be a lot easier. The personal story will go a lot quicker. As for classes, popular classes tend to be Elementalist or Guardian or Warrior even. However, you will be seeing me using a Guardian, mainly because of the staff and the greatsword and the weapon swap that you get. With the greatsword, you can very easily just go a lot quicker with, I think it's skill 4 or skill 3, I believe. And then with your staff, you obviously have skill 3 to give yourself a speed boost, and it makes it a bit more quicker to go through the areas. So I would suggest playing as a Guardian, but if you're doing this for fun and you don't really care about the the times, if you just feel like, okay, I'm going to do this, it doesn't matter if it takes me an hour, it doesn't matter if it takes me 30 minutes, it should take you up tops. The maximum it should take you is an hour and a half, but the shortest it should take you is probably 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes it can go even quicker depending on what method you use, but try to think of this as a fun way to get Black Lion tickets or Black Lion keys. Try not to make it too much of a speed run, and try not to think of it as I have to get this done very fast, because if you think of it like that, it's gonna get annoying, and if you don't reach a certain time that you want to reach, you're gonna feel discouraged to do it ever again. So think of this as a fun little activity to do, to get a black lion key and open a chest and test your luck, right? Now, as I said, you have to be level 10 to start these story quests, so there are several ways and options that you have of getting to level 10. Now, the best way to do this, and it's very possible to actually do this like this every week, is using tomes and knowledges. If you PvP a lot, if you do world versus world a lot, you will have tons of tomes and knowledges. I have over 250 tomes and knowledges sitting in my bank. I do PvP almost on a regular daily basis, and now that this is a weekly reset, you should have enough time to get enough tomes of knowledges again. So if you want, maybe you can do a mixture of all these things I'm gonna say right now. But tomes of knowledges is one way of doing it. You can use 10, you can use 9 tomes of knowledges, or I think it's 8 tomes of knowledge, just because the tutorial, when you finish it, you get to level 2. So you can use the remaining tomes and knowledges to get to level 10, and then throughout the week you can earn those tomes and knowledges again, and you can then use them for next week again. And this is the quickest way to do it, because as soon as you get to level 10, you can just start your personal story, and you could be done in literally 15-20 minutes. It's not very hard at all. Now, if you don't want to use tomes and knowledges, or if you don't play PvP or World vs. World a lot, where you can't get any of these tomes and knowledges as quickly, as you're doing key farming, then you can also just play the game at a regular pace and complete hearts. Now hearts have been improved, so they do give you a lot more experience. Right now, they're probably giving you like 3/4 to almost a full level. I think 3/4 of a level they give you. Some of them give you half a level or 3/4 of a level. And you do have the opportunity as a low level to switch starting areas. So if you really wanted to, you could just do a key farm and look for all the really easy hearts to do. You could just fast travel, do a few hearts in Queensdale that are really fast, and fast travel to Plains of Ashford and do a few hearts that are really fast there, and then fast travel to Metrical Province and do the hearts that are there that are really fast, and you can just do it like that. What you can also do is complete all of the cities, because if you complete all of the cities in map completion, you find all the waypoints, you find all the points of interest. However, I think that may take a bit longer, because I can't think of all the waypoints and all the point of interest at the top of my head. You'll have to run through several cities, and that may take a while, but I've never tried it. Maybe it takes out the same time as doing hearts, but you can do all the cities for map completion. And the bonus with that is that you get transmutation charges, so that's always good to have too, because transmutation charges are great to change the way your character looks. But then again, you have a tomes of knowledge option, and as you do PvP, you also get transmutation charges. So maybe you do want to use tomes of knowledges, and if you do PvP a lot, you can get tomes of knowledges back, and you get transmutation charges anyway. So there's really no point to do all the cities, but it's an option, and I want to give it to you. You can also do crafting, and crafting tends to be the second easiest way after tomes and knowledges. With crafting, you can literally just go down the list of materials that you need, and in fact, I do have in the description a list of materials that you'll need, as well as a guide to get your cooking to 200, because that's what you'll need. You need to get your cooking around 200, and that will get you to level 10. So in the description, you'll see a list of items that you'll need, and you'll see a guide of recipes that you want to cook to get your cooking to 200. Now, this is something I got straight off of Reddit, so I didn't really come up with this crafting list, just to give credit to the person who did it on Reddit. So take a look at that if you want to do crafting instead. It'll cost you around 1.5 gold or so. And that can be, kind of discouraging to do crafting, because you're wasting 1.5 gold just to get a key, and who knows if you even get anything out of the key. So maybe you don't want to do crafting, but if you want to do it, you can. And the other way you could do this, probably one of the best ways to do it, is to do a mixture of everything. Perhaps you want to get to level 5 through doing hearts, and to get to level 5, it doesn't take very long at all. It can take you like maybe 15 minutes just to do a few hearts and get to level 5. And then the remaining levels, you may want to use tomes and knowledges. I mean, using 5 tomes and knowledges instead of 10 tomes and knowledges, or 8 or 9, however much it is, it can be a lot better. You're saving yourself tomes and knowledges, and you don't need to PvP as much to get those tomes and knowledges back. So you could do that. You can do half hearts, half tomes knowledges, or you could do half hearts and then the other half crafting, and you'll basically cut your costs down to maybe like 50 silver instead of a gold and a gold and a half. So you can do a mixture of those things as well, and it'll be a lot easier on you. You don't need to get to level 10 through doing hearts, because doing hearts, I mean, it's not difficult, but it can take some time if you don't know what hearts to do and you don't really know which ones are fastest to do. So those are sort of your options. Most of the time, if you're feeling lazy, just use the tomes and knowledges and try to PvP a bit every day. Maybe do a few matches to get your tomes and knowledges back, or roll versus world a bit to get those tomes and knowledges back. And if not, then, you know, just use the tomes and knowledges and hope that you have enough for the amount of times you're going to do this. Now, what you also need to know is that to make this a lot quicker, you also want to have a crafting booster. If you're going to be crafting, use a crafting booster. What you'll see is that you'll get a lot of boosters out of the Black Lion chests. And now we do have a person in Lion's Arch near the Black Lion Trading Company area. Not the trading post, but the Black Lion Trading Company where you buy these skins with the Black Lion tickets. There is a person there where you can change your booster. If you don't want your combat booster, you can change it to a crafting booster. So you can change all these boosters now, and I do recommend you to do that to get crafting boosters. If you're gonna be using the crafting route, use crafting boosters so you get more levels from crafting and you don't need to waste as much money. Now, what you'll also need while doing this, I would highly recommend you get some level 10 gear, because it'll make running the story a lot quicker. Instead of basically running with starter gear, you can increase your stats really high, especially with the new item that came to Heart of Thorns, which is the Maguma Burl. And you can actually slot the Maguma Burl into all of your items. You can slot them into your armor, you can slot them into your accessories, into your trinkets. You can get a ton of power out of those. These are really good items. This is a level 80 gem, or level 80 upgrade, that it's basically available for all levels. There's no level requirement. So this is an amazing item. You probably have a lot of them anyway in your bank already, because you do get them while doing Heart of Thorns, and you probably have some stored in your bank. So what I recommend you to do is, one, get armor. You want to get mighty armor. If you're gonna be a guardian, get yourself mighty heavy armor. From it's level 10. You can either buy them on a trading post, but it's gonna cost you around, like, I saw that the chest piece was like 20 silver. But quite frankly, I crafted my armor and it was very easy. All you need is some jute scraps, all you need is some copper ore, and you should be good to go. So I'm pretty sure you have tons of jute scraps already. I'm pretty sure you have tons of copper ore already. So you should have all the materials to craft your armor, as long as you have a armor smithing. So get a full set of mighty armor. You can't get shoulder pads, and just for the record, you can't craft a helmet either. You'll need to buy the chain helmet on a trading post, and you'll need to craft your boots, your legs, your gloves, and then your chest piece. You can't craft your shoulder pieces because there aren't a level 10 shoulder pieces, so just be aware of that. And once you have your armor crafted, then you want to either craft a great sword or a staff. Like I said, these are just items that I recommend you to use, the great sword and the staff, because they allow you to move faster. But quite frankly, you can use whatever weapon you really want. It doesn't have to be all about the speed. It's obviously more efficient if you worry about speed, but like I said, you don't want to get too involved in this method, because there's no guarantee that you'll get a Black Lion ticket and get 100 gold. So yeah, I used a staff and I used a great sword, and I basically make sure that those are also mighty great sword and a mighty staff, and because it all has the power stat, and all we want in our stats is power to do more damage. Now for sigils, like I said, you can use sigils, and I would recommend the sigil of speed, mainly because the sigil of speed will allow you to gain swiftness, and the more swiftness you have, the better, because you're able to run around places a lot faster. And Sigil of Bloodlust is really good too, and make sure you bind the green sigils, because you are using, blue weapons, so you can't throw in a rare sigil. Now for runes, you can choose to get the Rune of the Pack. And the rune of the pack is fine to get 2 runes of the pack and put them on 2 pieces of armor. You can do that and it will give you some more swiftness. However, with the Maguma Burrow, you can put a Maguma Burrow in all of your armor pieces, so you don't even need to buy any runes at all. You could just put Maguma Burrows in your armor pieces and you have tons of power, condition damage, and all that stuff. So that is the ideal way to go. Previously you could use runes of the whole brack, runes of strength, runes of the pack, runes of vampirism, but now with the Maguma Burrow you can get a lot more stats out of it than you can with runes. So that's kind of what you want to do with your weapons, what you want to do with your armor. Now with your trinkets, you want to get Garnet copper trinkets. Once again, you can craft these again. They aren't as expensive as the gear is on a trading post, so you could buy them. They're like maybe 9 silver, 10 silver, I believe. You want to get 2 rings, and you want to get 2 earrings, 2 accessories. You can't buy an amulet, so don't bother looking for that. And once again, if you're crafting these, then it's gonna come with a garnet stone inside the accessory and inside the ring. But once again, you can exchange that with a Maguma Burrow. Just because it has an upgrade already in it, you can always exchange it by replacing it with the Maguma Burrow. Make sure you do that because you'll get a lot more power out of it. I think the garnet stone only gives you like 3 power, and the Maguma Burrow gives like 17 power. So you're getting like 6 times more power. So make sure you do that. And if you're going to use trinkets, do that. And for your back piece, you can craft the simple back piece. And if you're going to be using a heavy class armor, then you want to build the armor smith back piece. If you're going to be using a light class armor, obviously you want to build the light armor pieces and make sure it's mighty light armor pieces. And you're going to build the tailor's back piece, the simple tailor's back piece. And it doesn't take much to craft that at all either. Once again, it only takes like a few jute scraps and a few copper ore, and then you want to buy the simple back piece frame from your profession master vendor. And once again, you can add a Maguma Burrow into your back piece as well. And the last thing you will need is some Moa haunches and weak potions of outlaw slaying. If you're going to be making a human and doing the commoner's storyline, you're only going to be really fighting outlaws. So go ahead and to kill those bandits faster, get a weak potion of outlaw slaying. You're going to need to craft them. On the trading post, you can't even buy them anymore because they're so low price that it doesn't let you buy them. Craft them. It doesn't take much at all. Again, I think you just need like weak blood, which you probably have 250 of anyway. Need jugs of water, which you can buy from your profession vendor. You do need to be an artificer, so make sure you go to an artificer class to craft those. It's a very low level crafting recipe. A weak potion of outlaw slaying. I'll probably leave relevant links in the description, so anything I'm going over in this video, you can look in the description for more help if you forget something or you don't want to look through the entire video again, or if you can't find something, look in the description. I'll give you all the helpful links there and you don't have to worry about anything. So yeah, Moa haunches and weak potion of outlaw slaying. The Moa haunches you can buy in Holbrack in the Great Lodge. And it only costs like a few copper, I think, or I think you can even buy them. Yeah, it only costs like a few copper, and you can buy as many of those as you want. They'll give you more power and they'll give you experience. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you go to your guild hall. You can get an experience booster from your bartender from the tavern. Make sure you get that. It's 10% extra. And with your food, with your guild boost, with your utility from the weak potion of outlaw slaying, you're getting a ton of extra experience, so make sure you do that. So the point of crafting all this and the point of getting all this gear, you're probably wondering, well, it's level 10 gear, I can't even use it. Right, but it's going to help you go through the personal story a lot quicker and a lot easier. That's the point of getting this. Believe me, you can kill stuff in literally 2 hits. It's crazy. You don't need to sit there constantly hitting people, trying to kill them. You can just 2-shot kill them, and it makes things go a lot quicker and a lot easier. That's the point of getting all these upgrades. That's the point of getting all this armor, so you can go through the personal story a lot quicker. If you don't get this gear, if you don't get the weapons, it can take you a lot longer to do the personal story, and there's like 4 or 5 missions, so the quicker you can get through this, the better it is. And the personal story is the part that can get a bit annoying because that's literally repetitive point by point repetitive. Constantly, it's the exact same. So the quicker you can get to it, the better. At least with leveling to level 10, you can do different things every time. You can craft one time maybe, or use Tombs of Knowledge one time maybe, or do hearts maybe, or do Plains of Ash for one time maybe, and there's some variety to it, But the personal story is always going to be the same, so you want to get to that as quickly as possible. So get that gear, drop it into your bank, and when you're done, when you get to level 10, basically with your character, you can basically do the personal story with your gear, and then when you finish your personal story, once you got your Black Lion key, then you want to go and drop all of your gear back into your bank, and then for next week you can get the gear back out from the bank with a new character and start all over again. So that's sort of everything you need. That's sort of how key farming goes. Now, what I recommend you do, and sort of, I just want to go over some things that I probably haven't mentioned or forgot to mention, is the tutorial should be very quick. The tutorial should really only take you maybe 5 minutes. And the tutorial goes even faster if somebody's already in the garrison killing the centaurs. Sometimes you'll walk into the little keep garrison area and the event will be done already and you can just fight the boss. So if that happens, it takes you even less time. That should only take you about 5 minutes to do the tutorial for creating a level 1 character. Right after you finish the tutorial, go to Divinity's Reach. You have to walk into it because the waypoints aren't unlocked yet. So walk into Divinity's Reach. It's only a short walk. Should only take about 30 seconds to get here. Go to Divinity's Reach and walk to the crafting stations. The crafting stations are right near the beginning of Divinity's Reach. It's right in the southern area. If you look on your map, you'll see the crafting areas. And you want to go to any crafting place, and on the left side, you can access your bank, because now with crafting stations, the same way you access your bank through the scribing station in the guild hall, you can access the bank through any crafting station in a city. So get all of your gear out of your bank, get all of your trinkets out of your bank, so that when you get to level 10, you have it all there. And if you're going to do hearts, then obviously, do your hearts, go back out, do your hearts, and just get to level 10. Make sure you also use your potion of Outlaw Sling at level 5. It only requires you to be level 5, and it does give you an experience boost, I think. So make sure you use that. And if you're killing bandits, it kills things faster anyway. So make sure you use that at level 5. Also, make sure you use your food, because your food, there's no level requirements. So automatically use your food. That's why we're going to the bank. We're going to the bank to get your potions. We're going to the bank to get your food. And while you're at it, you may as well get all of your gear. So when you get to level 10, you can just equip it and go straight to the personal story. And yeah, it's pretty much it. Once again, like I said, you decide what you want to do. You decide how you want to get to level 10. It's all up to your preference. And if you want to do some variety with it every week, you want to do different things every week, you can definitely do so. And hopefully it will give you a way to get a Black Lion key, and then maybe you'll get a Black Lion ticket and you can buy a weapon and it sells for tons of gold, and you'll be happy, and you can do it every week. And every week you'll probably get disappointed some weeks, because some weeks you'll get only some boosters. You're like, oh, I need boosters, But like I said, think of it as a fun activity to do when you have nothing to do, and set aside one day, set aside an hour or 30 minutes, however long. If you're a speedrunner, it might take you 30 minutes only. If you're more of a casual player, it might take you an hour. Your first time through, it may take you an hour and a half, but I guarantee you, the more you do this, the quicker you'll get at it, and you'll be done in no time. Some other things I quickly want to go over. As you do these personal story quests, you make it to level 12 even, and you do want to pick the copper doubloon, because that one does sell for a good 20 silver on a trading post. So if you happen to get to level 12, or I think it's 13 or one of the two, if it gives you an option to pick a gem, make sure you pick the copper doubloon. You'll get 20 silver out of that, so there's some money. Also, make sure you sell all the loot that you get while killing things. I made a good 30-40 silver off of the bags that I got. I didn't open the bags, I just sold the bags, and I got like 30-40 silver. So if you're crafting, if you're doing, half fighting and half crafting, which is what I did, and you need to buy some materials, you can get some of your money back by selling the loot that you get from killing everything while you're level 10. And yeah, that's something you want to do as well. You also get bags of loot, and you get a champion bag from completing all of this and going through all this hassle. So you want to open those bags of loot, and you want to open a champion bag on a level 80 character, because you will get level 80 gear. You have a chance of getting an exotic, you have a chance of getting rares, so you want to make sure you do that as well. Don't just throw those bags of loot away. Don't just open them on that low level character. Open them on level 80, and open that champion bag on a level 80 as well. So that's 12 bags there. You could get some more money out of that too. And the last note I want to say is don't be afraid of the crafting, because if you're someone who tends to collect a lot of materials throughout the week and you constantly see yourself hitting that 250 limit, a lot of the materials for cooking that you'll need are basic materials like slices of butter or eggs or things like, you know, water or flour. A lot of this stuff you can buy from the cooking vendor, and a lot of it is karma material as well. The only things that are really buyable off the trading post are eggs, potatoes, sticks of butter, and that's kind of everything that I just bought, in strawberries. But throughout the week, if you're already gathering strawberries from Ascalon, or if you're going to the strawberry farm to get the Ascalon forager daily, or if you're going to the Ascalon potato farm to get the potato farm daily, or like if you see yourself getting a lot of these materials, you don't even need to buy anything. So don't be afraid of crafting and, you know, saying, oh, I have to use the 1.5 gold. I don't want to use 1.5 gold, because a lot of these materials you probably already have, and as the week goes by, you'll get more of these materials. So maybe crafting can be very quick for you, and if you have the materials, you don't need to use any money at all, except for buying the you know, bags of sugar and bags of flour, which is super cheap anyway, so it's not even that big of a cost. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. You know, I'm not a expert key farmer. I've only done this a few times, so definitely people who do a lot more key farming than I do, in the comments section, leave your input, leave your feedback, leave any tips that you have. And for those of you watching, look in the comments section, because I'm sure there'll be some helpful stuff down there as well that I haven't gone over, or that I'm not aware of, or that I may have missed, or maybe I explained something wrong. In the comments section, look down there. I'm pretty sure there'll be some helpful comments. We have a lot of bright and intelligent people on the channel here and subscribed that know a lot of stuff, so look down there. If you like this video, you can donate $8 to my Patreon page. All you gotta do is click the card in the top right hand corner of the video, and it'll bring you to the site. Anything as low as that is always very helpful and very much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and subscribe. Plenty of other gold guides on the channel, lots of other different PvE guides, PvP guides, lots of Guild Wars 2 content on the channel, and I think you'll really enjoy it. I also have a tutorials channel, advice channel, music channel, and a vlogging channel. You want to check those out, links in the description, as well as on the end card. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching as always, and this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.